What if a simple traffic stop could now turn into a deportation order? What if thousands of families across Texas could suddenly face removal without warning? Legal analysts are warning that a new state law could dramatically expand immigration enforcement inside Texas, and the ripple effects may be felt in workplaces, neighborhoods, and even schools. Some experts say this could impact thousands of non-citizens, including people who have lived in the state for years. The question is, how far does this new power really go? Across Texas, fear and confusion are spreading fast. Community advocates say phones are ringing nonstop. Employers are reviewing documents. Families are asking the same terrifying question: could this affect us? Supporters argue the law strengthens border security. Critics warn it may create legal chaos and increase wrongful detentions. One thing is clear: this is not a small policy update. In today's video, we break down the 10 major provisions of this new deportation law, who it targets, and what steps people can take right now to protect themselves. Stay with us. What you learn today could make all the difference. Number 1. Police power expansion. For the first time, Texas law significantly broadens the authority of local police officers when it comes to immigration enforcement. Under this new provision, officers who conduct routine stops, whether for traffic violations or minor infractions, may now have expanded ability to question a person's immigration status. Supporters argue this strengthens border security and helps identify undocumented individuals already inside the state. However, civil rights groups warn that this could increase racial profiling and create fear in everyday situations that were once considered routine. Legal experts point out that immigration enforcement has traditionally been handled at the federal level, not by individual states. This shift raises important constitutional questions that may eventually be challenged in court. In the meantime, the reality on the ground is changing. A broken taillight, a missed signal, or a minor citation could potentially escalate into something far more serious for non-citizens. That uncertainty alone is causing anxiety in many communities across Texas. So what can people do? First, understand your constitutional rights. You have the right to remain silent and the right to ask if you are free to leave. Second, avoid carrying false documents under any circumstances that can lead to criminal charges. Third, consider speaking with a qualified immigration attorney if you believe you could be affected. Preparation is no longer optional. It is essential in this new legal climate. Do you think giving local police this kind of power makes Texas safer or more divided? Tell us your honest opinion in the comments. We put serious research and effort into breaking down complex laws for you, so please support the channel. It's just one click to subscribe. Number 2. State-level deportations. In a move that has shocked many legal observers, Texas is now stepping deeper into territory that was traditionally handled by the federal government. This provision allows the state to initiate its own deportation-related proceedings under certain conditions. While federal agencies like ICE have historically overseen removal processes, Texas lawmakers argue that the federal system has been overwhelmed, and the state must act independently to protect its borders. Legal analysts say this shift could create serious constitutional debates. Immigration enforcement has long been considered a federal responsibility, and when a state attempts to enforce removal at its own level, it raises questions about jurisdiction and authority. Critics warn that this may lead to legal battles that stretch all the way to higher courts. Meanwhile, supporters claim it sends a strong message that Texas will not wait for Washington to act. For individuals living in Texas, the practical impact could be significant. If state authorities gain more power to detain and process individuals suspected of immigration violations, the timeline for action may become much faster. That means less time to prepare a defense and less room for delays. If you or someone you know could be affected, now is the time to organize important documents. Keep contact information for an experienced immigration attorney and understand what legal protections may still apply. In uncertain times, knowledge and preparation can be the difference between stability and crisis. Do you believe Texas should handle deportations at the state level, or should this remain strictly federal? Share your thoughts below. Your voice matters. We put deep research and real effort into explaining these laws clearly, so support our work by subscribing. It's just one simple click. Number 3. ICE coordination surge. Another major shift in this new Texas law is the dramatic increase in coordination between state authorities and federal immigration agencies, like U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. Under this provision, local and state law enforcement agencies are expected to share more data, cooperate more closely on detainers, and transfer custody of certain individuals to federal authorities more quickly than before. Supporters argue this creates a more unified enforcement system and prevents gaps between state and federal action. However, critics warn that stronger cooperation could lead to faster detentions and fewer opportunities for individuals to resolve their status before facing federal custody. In the past, some counties limited how fully they honored ICE detainers. Now, with increased pressure for compliance, those options may shrink. This means that someone arrested for even a minor offense could be flagged and transferred to federal immigration authorities in a shorter time frame. For families and individuals, this makes preparation more important than ever. If you are not a U.S. citizen, it may be wise to have copies of important documents stored safely and to share emergency contact information with trusted family members. Consider identifying a qualified immigration attorney in advance rather than waiting for an emergency. Even small steps, like knowing who to call, can reduce panic during critical moments. In this new environment, understanding how state and federal agencies work together is no longer just legal theory. It is a daily reality for thousands of people across Texas. Do you think stronger cooperation with ICE will improve security or increase fear in communities? Let us know your perspective in the comments. We spend hours researching and simplifying these complex policies for you. Support the channel and subscribe. It takes just one click. Number 4. Criminal penalties expanded. Another powerful piece of this new law focuses on enhanced criminal penalties tied to immigration-related violations. Under the updated framework, certain offenses that were previously treated as minor infractions could now carry much heavier consequences if immigration status becomes part of the case. Supporters say this sends a strong message of deterrence. Critics argue it may create harsher outcomes for individuals whose original offenses were small. Legal analysts explain that when immigration issues intersect with criminal charges, the consequences can multiply quickly. For example, what might normally result in a fine or short detention could now trigger deeper scrutiny, longer holds, or potential referral for removal proceedings. This creates a situation where even a seemingly minor mistake, such as driving without proper documentation, could spiral into something much more serious. For non-citizens, the practical takeaway is clear. Avoid any situation that could result in criminal charges. That includes driving carefully, keeping documents updated, and resolving outstanding legal matters as soon as possible. If you already have pending charges, consult a qualified criminal defense and immigration attorney immediately. Many people don't realize that certain plea deals can carry unexpected immigration consequences. Asking the right questions before signing anything could protect your future. In today's legal climate, small decisions can have life-changing effects, and being proactive is far safer than reacting after the fact. Do you think tougher penalties will reduce violations or create unintended consequences? Share your honest view below. We research deeply to bring you clear and balanced insights like this, so support our work and subscribe. It's just one quick click. Number 5. Border security boost. One of the most aggressive parts of this new law is the massive increase in border security funding. Texas has committed additional resources toward expanding patrol operations, surveillance technology, detention facilities, and physical infrastructure near the border. Lawmakers say this is necessary to control unlawful crossings and reduce pressure on local communities. Supporters argue that stronger enforcement will discourage illegal entry and restore order. But the effects may go beyond just the border itself. Policy experts note that when funding increases, enforcement activity usually rises statewide. More funding can mean more officers, more checkpoints, and more monitoring systems. That can lead to increased stops, more questioning, and broader enforcement operations across Texas, not just in border towns. Communities far from the border could still feel the impact through workplace inspections and coordinated operations. For individuals living in Texas, this means heightened awareness is critical. Know your legal rights if you encounter checkpoints. Always stay calm and avoid confrontation. If you travel frequently near border regions, Ensure that all identification documents are valid and accessible. Families should also consider creating a basic emergency plan, including contact numbers and legal support, just in case. While border security discussions often focus on politics, the real-world consequences affect everyday people. Whether you support or oppose the policy, understanding how increased enforcement works is essential in navigating this changing landscape. Do you believe increased border funding will solve the problem or create new challenges? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We work hard to break down these complex changes for you, so please support the channel and subscribe. It truly takes just one simple click. Number 6. Mandatory detention rules. Another serious change introduced under this new Texas law involves stricter mandatory detention provisions. In certain cases, individuals accused of immigration-related violations may now face automatic detention without the same level of discretion that previously allowed for release on bond. Supporters argue this prevents individuals from disappearing into the system. Critics warn it may overwhelm detention facilities and limit due process protections. Legal experts explain that detention decisions are critical because they directly affect how a case unfolds. When someone is detained, it becomes much harder to gather documents, coordinate legal defense, and remain financially stable. Families can face sudden separation, lost income, and emotional strain. Previously, some judges had broader authority to consider community ties or family responsibilities before deciding on release. Under stricter detention rules, that flexibility may shrink. If you believe you could be affected, preparation is vital. Keep copies of identification and immigration paperwork accessible to trusted family members. Discuss emergency plans with loved ones, including who will handle financial responsibilities if detention occurs. Most importantly, identify a qualified immigration attorney before a crisis happens. Acting quickly during the first hours of detention can sometimes make a significant difference. In an environment where detention may become more automatic, being proactive can provide a layer of protection. Understanding these rules today could help prevent devastating surprises tomorrow. Do you think mandatory detention increases safety or reduces fairness in the system? Share your perspective in the comments. We invest real time and effort researching these laws so you stay informed. Support the channel and subscribe. It's just one click. Number 7. Workplace enforcement crackdown. Another major element of this new Texas law focuses on tighter workplace enforcement. State officials are increasing inspections, audits, and penalties aimed at employers suspected of hiring undocumented workers. Lawmakers argue that reducing unauthorized employment opportunities will discourage unlawful migration. Supporters say businesses must follow the rules. Critics warn this could create fear among workers and disrupt entire industries that rely heavily on immigrant labor. Policy analysts note that workplace enforcement often affects more than just employers. When inspections increase, employees may face document checks, sudden job loss, or even referral to immigration authorities if discrepancies are found. In some industries, construction, agriculture, hospitality, a single enforcement sweep could impact dozens of families at once. This creates financial instability not just for individuals, but for communities that depend on those incomes. If you are currently employed, make sure your employment documentation is accurate and updated. Never provide false information, as that can lead to criminal charges. Employers should also review compliance procedures and consult legal professionals to avoid costly penalties. Workers who feel uncertain about their status should seek guidance from a qualified immigration attorney rather than relying on rumors or misinformation. Preparation can reduce panic if inspections occur. In today's climate, workplace security is no longer just about keeping your job. It may also involve protecting your legal future. Do you think stronger workplace enforcement protects jobs or creates more fear for families? Tell us what you think below. We spend hours breaking down these complex changes for you, so please support our effort and subscribe. It's just one simple click. Number 8. Public benefits restrictions. Another significant part of this new Texas law involves tighter verification rules for certain public benefits. Lawmakers say the goal is to ensure that only eligible residents receive state-funded assistance programs. This could include stricter identity checks, immigration status verification, and additional documentation requirements for services such as housing aid, healthcare assistance, or other state-supported programs. Supporters argue this protects taxpayer resources. Critics worry it may discourage eligible families from seeking help out of fear. Policy experts explain that even small administrative changes can have wide-reaching effects. When documentation requirements increase, mistakes or missing paperwork can lead to delayed or denied benefits. Families who rely on assistance for medical care or housing support may suddenly find themselves under review. In some cases, information shared during benefit applications could be accessible to other government agencies, depending on policy structure. That possibility alone can create anxiety in immigrant communities. If you or someone you know relies on public assistance, now is the time to review eligibility rules carefully. Keep copies of submitted documents and confirmation notices. Never provide inaccurate information, even unintentionally. If you are unsure about your eligibility, consult a qualified immigration or benefits attorney before submitting new applications. Understanding the system ahead of time can prevent unnecessary complications. In today's legal environment, being informed is one of the strongest forms of protection. Restrictions may be tightening, but preparation and clarity can help families navigate these changes responsibly. Do you think stricter benefit rules ensure fairness or make life harder for struggling families? Share your honest opinion below. We put serious research and effort into every video, so please support the channel and subscribe. It truly takes just one click. Number 9. Expedited removal process. One of the most concerning elements of this new Texas law is the introduction of a faster, more expedited removal process in certain cases. This means that individuals suspected of immigration violations could face accelerated proceedings with significantly reduced timelines. Supporters argue this prevents long backlogs and speeds up enforcement. Critics warn that faster processing may reduce the time available to prepare a proper legal defense. Legal experts emphasize that time is often the most critical factor in immigration cases. When removal procedures move quickly, individuals may have only days, sometimes hours, to contact an attorney, gather documents, or notify family members. In complex cases, proving lawful presence or eligibility for relief requires paperwork, witness statements, and detailed preparation. An expedited system can make that process much harder. For anyone potentially affected, preparation must begin before a problem arises. Keep certified copies of important documents in a safe but accessible location. Share attorney contact information with trusted family members. Make sure someone close to you knows where key paperwork is stored. If approached by authorities, remain calm and remember your right to remain silent until speaking with legal counsel. Acting quickly in the early stages of a case can sometimes prevent irreversible consequences. In a system where speed becomes the priority, being prepared ahead of time may be the only safeguard you have. Do you believe faster deportation processes create efficiency or increase the risk of unfair outcomes? Tell us what you think in the comments. We put real-time and deep research into explaining these laws clearly, so please support the channel and subscribe. It's just one simple click. Number 10. Sanctuary limits tightened. The final major provision in this new Texas law focuses on limiting so-called sanctuary policies at the local level. In the past, some cities and counties adopted policies that reduced cooperation with federal immigration enforcement in certain situations. These policies often restricted how local resources could be used for immigration-related detainers. Under the new law, Texas is moving to tighten those limits, requiring greater compliance from local governments. Supporters argue that uniform enforcement across the state prevents loopholes and ensures that no city becomes a safe haven for individuals who violate immigration laws. They believe consistency strengthens public safety and reduces confusion between jurisdictions. However, critics warn that removing local discretion may strain relationships between law enforcement and immigrant communities. When trust declines, some residents may become less willing to report crimes or cooperate with police, fearing that any interaction could lead to immigration consequences. For individuals living in cities that previously offered some level of protection, this change may feel significant. It means that assumptions about local policies may no longer apply. Stay informed about your city's current rules and any updates from local officials. Most importantly, understand your constitutional rights during any law enforcement interaction. Sanctuary policies are complex and often misunderstood, but one thing is clear. The legal landscape in Texas is shifting towards stricter, more centralized enforcement. Whether you support or oppose the move, knowing how these changes affect your community is essential to you think ending sanctuary-style protections improves safety or weakens community trust. Share your honest thoughts below. We dedicate serious time and effort to breaking down these complicated laws for you. So please support the channel and subscribe. It truly takes just one click. The reality is clear. Texas is entering a new era of immigration enforcement, and the impact could be felt far beyond the border. From expanded police authority to faster removal procedures, from stricter workplace audits to reduced local discretion, each of these 10 provisions represents a major shift in how immigration law is applied at the state level. Supporters believe these changes will strengthen security and restore order. Critics fear they could increase confusion, legal battles, and hardship for families who have built their lives in Texas for years. Regardless of where you stand, one thing is undeniable. The legal landscape is changing rapidly. What makes this moment especially important is how interconnected these rules are. A simple traffic stop could connect to state-level processing. A workplace audit could lead to federal coordination. A missed document deadline could trigger expedited removal. These laws do not operate in isolation. They form a broader system of heightened enforcement. And when enforcement increases, preparation becomes essential. If you or someone you know may be affected, do not rely on rumors or social media speculation. Seek accurate information. Understand your constitutional rights. Keep important documents organized. Identify trusted legal counsel before a crisis begins. Being informed is not about fear, it is about protection. Texas is making bold moves. The question now is how these changes will reshape communities, workplaces, and families in the months ahead. Stay aware, stay prepared, and most importantly, stay informed, because in times of rapid legal change, knowledge truly is power.